This weekend we are going to be met with a blockbuster fixture between Manchester City and Chelsea at Wembley. This is the FA Cup semi-final, and this game is very crucial for both teams, with Manchester City looking to add silverware and Chelsea to qualify for Europe next season. So with Manchester City, we just know one thing. Manchester City is a team that generally dominates possession, and their main aim is usually to stifle and suffocate their opponents into their own defensive third. That is what they did against Real Madrid, and that is what they do week in, week out. Now, Chelsea has been a team that has not performed well this season. However, they have managed to deny Manchester City a win over them during this Premier League campaign with the very exciting 4-4 draw at Stamford Bridge and the stale 1-1 draw at the Etihad, where Chelsea had major chances. Pep Guardiola, in his recent interview, was asked the main question that goes in everyone's mind: Cole Palmer. Pep Guardiola gave a very diplomatic answer with regards to Cole Palmer's situation and how Cole Palmer actually demanded to leave Manchester City, a player who's actually Chelsea's main player in this game. Before we start our analysis, I'd like to introduce you to our partner Betwinner. Betwinner gives you favorable odds and actually will give you a better prediction on the games that are going to be played this weekend. Do not forget to go into the link in the description area below to visit their site or download their app and check what they have to offer when it comes to checking and try to give you better odds to win this week's games. So Pep Guardiola and Mauricio Pochettino have been at it against each other for a very long time, with Pep Guardiola actually getting the better of Mauricio Pochettino. However, Mauricio Pochettino understands how to beat Pep, something that many managers do not actually know, and we are going to look at the system Pochettino can pick. Automatically, Petrovic will retain his position in the goal, and his role will be actually very important when Chelsea will be looking to build from the back. The centre-back pairing, I'm actually making a change, bringing in Disasi to play alongside Thiago Silva. We need physicality in the defense. I know Chalobah has been playing well, but Disasi is much more physically imposing than Chalobah and can help against Haaland. I'm going in the fullback position. We are going to have Gusto and Marco Kurela. I still prefer Marco Kurela over Chilwell in this game. He knows when to tuck in and when to play much defensive, unlike Chilwell, who likes to attack. I'm going to go with the midfield pivot of Gallagher and Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. I think both of them played well. The engine of Gallagher in that midfield helps Caicedo cover less, giving Caicedo freedom to actually dictate the game much better. Ahead of them, I'm going to go with the star boy Cole Palmer. I want him to occupy that number 10 position. I've already done a video why that position is his best position. Check our timeline and see how Cole Palmer influences the game effectively in this number 10 position. And in the wide areas, I'm going for dribblers. I'm going for Raheem Sterling down the left and Noni Madueke down the right. I believe Sterling is more threatening down the left and actually has gotten the best out of Kyle Walker and Noni Madueke down the right. Because Manchester City's fullbacks will be tired, it is good to have athletic wingers on the wide areas. Leading the line, I'm going to go with Nicholas Jackson. He has shown very impressive performances recently. His hold-up play, his physicality, his ability to link up play with his midfielders has also been quite great, and he will be a huge asset, especially against a high-pressing team. Before we start our analysis, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this and more tactical insights. First of all, we're going to look at Chelsea in possession. We're going to try and understand what Chelsea can do with the ball and without the ball. So Chelsea will generally look to try and build from the back by dropping two of their center backs to try and form of a pseudo back three. But Manchester City is an aggressively high pressing team, pressing in a 4-4-2 diamond, and Chelsea should position their wingers quite wide and their forwards quite wide so as to try and pin Manchester City's high defense line backwards. Manchester City will try to use one player, either Phil Foden, to cut a pass to Thiago Silva and force Chelsea to play, especially down down the right, where they expect Chelsea's right centre-back not to be comfortable with the ball. And Disasi in this position should be quite keen, with Caicedo looking to drop deep to receive the ball on the half-turn. Can be a very good thing with the Gallagher pushing forward to drag in his marker, and Caicedo can receive the ball in this position and look to try to find players in between the lines, such as Conor Gallagher or Cole Palmer, who can be dropping deep to receive the ball, as Chelsea will be looking to play through Manchester City's midfield underload in their press, with their wingers looking to attack that huge space in behind Manchester City. That can be one way. The second way is when Manchester City cover all the central areas and actually try to make the pitch as small as possible for Chelsea, which majority of the time they will. And this can be aided by having Chelsea play their fullbacks and their centre backs and their deepest midfielder deeper, and have huge spaces high up, and forcing Petrovic to go long to try and pick Jackson, where they can use Conor Gallagher and Cole Palmer to win the second balls. And once Chelsea win the second ball, they can actually attack Manchester City's back four without having to play through them, with players such as Raheem Sterling and Noni Madueke making those diagonal runs. Let's look at much more settled possession, because I believe Chelsea at some point in this game will have settled possession against Manchester City. So how can Chelsea try to exploit Manchester City's 4-4-2 in a much settled phase of play? Now, Manchester City's 4-4-2 looks to deny the centre-backs any time and space on the ball, and this 2v2 pressing strategy will be ineffective. Therefore, Cucurella can tuck in and form a back three system, and this enables Chelsea to effectively play through Manchester City's first line of pressure, with Malo Gusto looking to move forward down the right to try and create that right-sided overload. This also can free up Cole Palmer in this number 10 position to scan the pitch and know the pockets of spaces to pick. Chelsea's wide centre-back should be aggressive to come out with the ball so as to try to draw Manchester City's wingers onto them to create space, especially in the forward areas where the Chelsea wingers can find themselves in 1v1 situations with Manchester City fullbacks and look to try to dribble past them. That can be one way in which Chelsea can do it, and I believe Noni Madueke has the capability to actually take on a person like Guardiola. Or alternatively, look to play those penetrative half-space passes, especially for Malo Gusto, who looks to underlap, because Noni Madueke usually does not like to occupy the right half-space position. That is one way Chelsea can look to try and exploit Manchester City when they have settled possession. Another thing that we need to understand is that Manchester City might actually even try to use Bernardo Silva to go man-to-man against all Chelsea's centre-backs. And in this situation, Chelsea need positional awareness. And how can this awareness be created? Because Manchester City, when they decide to go into this more pseudo position of trying to cover Chelsea from all flanks, what Chelsea should actually do is revert back to a back four. The main aim is to always try to outnumber Manchester City during build-up system. And once you're able to outnumber them and move into a pseudo back four system and them going back to a 4-4-2 system, you'll generally have numerical advantages. And this is where Cole Palmer comes alive, because Palmer can drop so deep to a position where Rodri cannot track him, receive the ball directly from the center backs, and look to progress with the ball forward. And wingers should be willing and ready to be making those runs so that Cole Palmer can easily find them and look to progress with the ball forward with them. Down the left, it will be quite interesting because Chelsea have not been quite strong down the left, but having Raheem Sterling and Cole Palmer looking to link up down this position will be great. We saw in the previous two games how Raheem Sterling left Walker down and Raheem Sterling actually dribbled past Walker many times and won actually most of the 1v1 battles against Kyle Walker, something that Chelsea should look to try and work on. Let's look at Manchester City in possession, and actually this is how the game is going to pan out. Manchester City are going to dominate possession. They are going to dominate. So Manchester City build with a very interesting structure, and this is the pseudo back four structure that is created with their goalkeeper playing as an extra centre back. And the main aim is for Manchester City to form that early box shaped midfield to try and outnumber their opponents. and John Stones looking likely to start in this game, it will be very catastrophic if you look to press Manchester City high and they can easily play through you. So Chelsea in this position, you can see here how Manchester City are creating that box-shaped midfield against Real Madrid, with their main aim looking to try and suffocate Real Madrid through the middle by having the position of Akanji slightly inside. So how can Chelsea mitigate this? So one way Chelsea can mitigate this is having to either drop off and not press Manchester City aggressively high like most teams do, and having their wingers to play slightly closer than to Cole Palmer. And in this position, they use their cover shadows to try and cover those passes in between the lines. And Chelsea can use their wingers to aggressively look to press Manchester City's centre-backs man-to-man. And since Manchester City will try to stagger their pivot, Palmer should be quite aggressive onto Rodri, and Chelsea's forward should be quite aggressive to press the centre-backs and deny them any time and space. This will leave Manchester City's centre-backs with only one option, and that is dragging their wingers so deep to come and receive the ball deeper, where they can look to try and actually receive the ball and try to pull Chelsea's fullback to come out and try to dribble past them. And this can be very advantageous for Chelsea if their fullbacks can win these 1v1 duels. But this further emphasizes why Chelsea should stick to a 4-4-2 system without possession, with their wingers dropping deep to cover Manchester City's wingers, especially when they are occupying that wide areas and that tight midfield overload. And that is how Chelsea can do it. And this is going to be an incredible tactical matchup between Pep and Pochettino. In Pochettino's time at Chelsea, Pep is yet to actually get a win over him. And Mauricio Pochettino is also yet to get a win over Pep, but actually has managed to know how to contain Pep Guardiola's Manchester City. And actually, these are very crucial games for Chelsea and Manchester City, who will be looking to try and retain the FA Cup. So what are my predictions for this game? This game, my prediction is that Manchester City most likely will dominate possession as expected, and Chelsea will try to be dominant in some aspects of the game. But if Chelsea manage to be defensively resolute, they should be able to actually make something out of Manchester City. But it's going to be quite a difficult game for Chelsea. If you've enjoyed this analysis, do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.